Alright guys, we're back for more 2022 Supercoach. The Aami preseason, NAB League, whatever it's called, the preseason games are finished. And we've got a pretty good idea on who I'm going to be picking. So thought I'd make this, it's kind of like a final team reveal. I guess the first version of the final team, if that makes any sense. Man, the rookies suck this year. I'm just going to get that right off the bat. These rookies are trash. A lot of these guys are just kind of underpriced normal players. I'd call them they're not rookies. They're not young. Yeah, it's pretty tough out here. But yeah, we'll go through it and we'll talk a little bit about each pick. And yeah, let's get into it. We start defense, and this guy hasn't left my team so far. It's Jake Lloyd. Consistency is key here. Too many years in the past I've kind of taken a shot in the dark with certain players and just not really feeling that this year. Lloyd is always going to give you that 105. Right here is at 107. Yeah, that's all you can ask for, really. He'll definitely drop. So I think if I'm not going to do it, but if someone was to, you could definitely, probably not Stewart because he's coming off an injury, but Crisp. Dawson, if he wasn't injured, isn't terrible. If he's playing midfield, then he's actually going to be pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I think to start Lloyd. That's what I'm going to do. Then D2. This position has just kept changing. I've had Hall in for a while, then he did his hammy and had to take him out. Then I had Dawson in, and he's done something, his calf. He's still probably fine for round one, but I don't know, just not a fan of starting the season with injured players, even though there's extra trades this year, but I'd prefer to keep those extra trades for COVID. And then I had Jack Crisp, who he's fine. It's just he's pretty expensive. He's $571, and to have the team structure I want, just can't afford him, or else I would have him. I like the prospects of his play this year. He's going to be rotate midfield, and I think he'll do good from it. I think Maynard might also be alright from it. Maynard's a bit more touch and go. He's suspended as well. Okay, I didn't see that. But yeah, I think Crisp is great. I had Ridley in for a while. The only reason he's there is because I think the person I've picked has a slightly better role in terms of consistency. Ridley is very likely to get his intercepts and get the kickouts and stuff like that, but it's not 100%, I'd say. After watching the practice match, after watching the actual preseason game, I wouldn't say he's 100% nailed in every kick out he hears, and he's going to play high time on ground and stuff like that. Of course, could be wrong. It was practice in a preseason game. Round one will probably come out, have 100% time on ground and put up 130, right? So it's possible, but I picked Jane Short. Last year, Short was really good for his cheap price, coming off like halfback and pushing the ball forward for Richmond. There's no Hooley this year, so I think he's got the same role as that kind of like defense to offense guy. And I just think his scoring will be better without Hooley. It was last year, and this is a full season without him. I don't think any of the younger guys, like I think Ralph Smith, Gibcus, is there anyone else young? Grimes is down with an injury. Was it Grimes? Yeah. I don't think any of them are going to like really hamper his scoring to the point where like it's the equivalent of Hooley being in the team. Even though like if we look at Shorts here, I'm pretty sure this still works. 20. Yeah. All right. It's not really going to work, is it? Internet's been a bit slow. He put in some good scores towards the end of the year, and this when Hooley was starting to come back. These are all right scores, honestly. He's still top 6. And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to start. I know it sounds like a 5-year-old thing, but start as many top 6 players in defense, and as many top 8 mids and top 6 forwards and stuff like that. I think Short's good. I think there is a higher level of consistency that comes from Short as opposed to Ridley, but Short, there are, I guess, some questions on, will the younger people coming into the team hamper his scoring? Will Richmond just not be good this year and then require him to change his role slightly? I'd say it's pretty unlikely, but I like this pick. And next, he's in everyone's team. I'm not even going to bother. It's Lachie Whitfield. At 500k, this is pretty much a must pick. I said at the end of last year, I'm not picking any GWS players and no Richmond players. And I've got both of them in the first 3 picks. However, Short is probably the exception to the Richmond rule. The only other one would be like a really on it Dusty, is pumping out great scores, playing a great role, and he's not injured. I'd say you've got the Richmond team, and you've got James Short, and it's sort of similar for GWS. You got Josh Kelly, Canelio, who is also in the team. Who else do they even have now that's Supercoach relevant? Maybe if you're in draft, maybe Hopper. You've got all them, Taranto, then you've got Whitfield, who is always going to have his kickouts, is always going to be a good kick of the ball. He's one of the better kicks. At a discounted price, sure, there's the injury risk, but if you look at his injury history, it's not really anything that would make you believe it's going to happen every year. I think it was last year, it was concussion. That's a physical injury, so it's not likely. You can't prepare for a concussion happening, right? It's you get hit hard and now you're concussed. You can't prepare for it. It's not like, I'll just take a couple of hits to the head and I'll never be concussed again. I think the risk versus reward for someone that's as cheap and as good as Whitfield, it weighs more heavily towards you getting a reward out of it. And look, he's probably going to be a top 6 to top 8 defender, so might as well start him. And then next, it's a bit of scrolling here. Actually, not that much. But James Sicily. This one keeps coming in and out of the side. It's whether I put Sicily here or fit in maybe a bit of extra money forward. I do think Sicily could reach that top 8 defender status. Hawthorn aren't going to be good this year. Let's just get that out of the way. It's very likely going to be a bottom 4 team. Hopefully that doesn't impact Sicily too much. Their defense apart from Sicily isn't too great. Will Day's alright. I think he's actually pretty good. But besides that, I don't think they're too great. And I'd probably say Sicily is their best kick in defense. So, just thinking logically, you'd want your best kick on kickouts and to do the majority of kicking up forward. Whether that stays the way it is, who knows? Clarkson is out, so they've got a new coach in. Anything could change. Hopefully this doesn't mean like that. What was it? It was like a 3-game period a couple of years ago where it was like Sicily forward. That was like a headache and a half. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. Coming off an injury, he's got a discounted price. This guy is like a 540k player when healthy, when firing and stuff like that, going off past stuff. In the preseason practice game, looks great, looks fit. All the reports coming out of Hawthorn training camp have said, he's pretty much fine. He's back to the way he was. which is, I guess, sort of expected. He has had a full year off, and with COVID and stuff, you're at home more, so you're not necessarily like putting stress on muscles and stuff like that. We'll see how his body can hold up. I'd say this is an injury risk here, partly because of what I just said. He's been at home for a year, and now he's going to play a full AFL season, which is a contact sport. There is chance here that maybe there's a rest game for him because his body could burn out. But also like possible like muscle injuries, which maybe it's only a week or two. Maybe it's not even going to happen at all. These dudes are professionals, so yeah. I think Sicily is fine to pick. I think if you want him and you see sort of the upside as I do, he's definitely worth it, right? He's fun to watch for people like me that like not fun to watch people. I know it's weird. Like I like watching Titch because other people don't like watching him. It's kind of like a troll thing. But yeah, it is what it is. I think he's fine. And then D4. We're kind of loading up in defense. Did it last year, didn't really work. Or it kind of did. I just kind of got unlucky with injuries and such. D4 is George Hewitt. Now, Hewitt in the practice game looked pretty good. Like, I wouldn't say he set the world on fire, but he looked good. Definitely pickable after the practice game. I thought he did enough to show for 400k, he'll make some money. He's fine to pick. But after the Aami game, I think his score was actually higher in the practice game than in the Aami game. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just kind of off the top of my head, I think that's what it was. I think after the Aami game, you have to pick him. You kind of just have to make room here at either D4, D5, wherever it is. 400k center bounces, good motor, like he follows the ball up and down the field. He had pretty good time on ground for a preseason game. The only issue is when Walsh comes back, does Hewitt get put maybe on a wing or just moved into defense or something like that? I don't know, maybe becomes like the team tagger. Because I think he did a small bit of tagging in Sydney. I'm not sure on that. I think there was another guy that maybe they just look similar. I don't really watch much Sydney, but yeah, it's possible that he doesn't keep the high CBA role that he has right now. Hopefully he does. 400k, it's worth the punt on him. And then finishing off the defense is just a couple of rookies. Man, I'd love if the internet was working today. Paddy McCartan, who will play more weeks than he won't, make some money. He will probably put up like a 60, 65, best days, 70 average. And he'll just be fine. Like, it's D6. Start of the season, D6, 70 is fine. It is. Then I have Gibcus, who should play. I've got mates that are Richmond fans, and they say he's going to play. Hopefully that's true. Hopefully Grimes coming back doesn't push him out completely. I'd imagine if he plays good round one, they're just going to find a place for him. Wherever it is, as long as he's playing, it's fine. The rookies are truly quite bad this year in terms of like job security and just skill. Like, there's a lot of bad rookies this year. And then I just have my team pulled up here. I have Wilmot, who's suspended for round one, but I think by round two he's just going to walk back into the team. He has a team. Keaton Coleman is down, so there is a spot down back. He's probably not going to take that, but there's spots down there, so there's going to be some maneuvering around. Hopefully no one looks too great round one in defense, that they can't be dropped. And then round two, Wilmot just comes in and he's fine. Either way, he's just this last defender spot. This could be a 102k really just not a great player. Or it could be Taconi. Yeah, it is what it is. In the midfield, we've got McRae, Steele, and you don't even look at them anymore. McRae is probably the best player in Supercoach. The only other one I'd probably say like rivals him is Gorn or Darcy. In the second half of last year, Darcy was really good, like setting records good. And Dunkley in the midfield is really good. But yeah, McRae is just really good. Almost 50% ownership. You've got to have him. He's every week a captain option, every week a vice captain option. He always gets his touches. He almost averaged 130 last year. Yeah, you just got to pick him. Just pick him. It's 700k for a player that is A-okay. Very good injury history. Is in nothing really significant there. Plays every week. Is very durable, very consistent. If he was a better kick at goal, that would be great, but it is what it is. And then this third, I guess I should talk about Steele. Steele, the issue is St Kilda suck. Their team is riddled with injuries, and there's just no help for him in the midfield. I guess Rowan Marshall is a capable ruck and could tap it down to him pretty good. But man, apart from that, there's really nothing there. I have seen and heard that his scores were better last year with just like all the guys that had him. What's the guy's name that went to Melbourne? Like the St Kilda midfield is so bare bones. It is just Steele, please carry us. Clark is out with injury. I don't know, man. I could understand not starting Steele, but I think that you could really get burnt if you don't start him. If he comes out and he's just putting on carry job of a lifetime, he's getting 30-odd touches, all of his tackles, kicking a goal or two, because he's actually a pretty good kick from the midfield. You could really get burnt here. And if you're not going to pick Steele, you got to pick Took. Oliver's cool, but Took with a better ruckman this year. Last year, Witts was out. You got to pick him. Like, I'd pick him. I just can't find the money to have the three most expensive players in Supercoach. I think he's fine. Week 1, he's got West Coast. He's going to destroy them. Gold Coast is, honestly, they're probably going to win by 50 or 60, and that's coming from a West Coast fan. The team sucks. They really, really suck. And there is the, like, I guess the cloud of Stewie Doo, is he going to get fired this year for underperforming with a pretty good team? If he wants to keep his job, he's going to put Took in all the best situations possible. He knows that his engine is the midfield, and that's Took and Rao, who we'll be touching on in a minute. He hasn't really done anything great in his time coaching, but he's not stupid either. You'd have to be blind, stupid, and dumb to not realize, we've got these two really good midfielders. One's in the prime of his career, the other one's reaching it. I think Took's a great pick. Just can't afford him. And then we've got the guy that also should be in everyone's team. It almost is at 49. Is Lockie Neal. There's not really anything to speak about here. He's not injured. He's at a discount. He's a Brownlow player. You got to pick him. You got to pick him. You got to pick him. Then I have the guy I sort of just spoke about. Looking for him. No, there he is. Matt Rowell. I did this last year and it did not work. I had to trade him out in round 2, or was it round 1? I can't remember. He is an injury risk personified, but in the practice and preseason games, I think he had 120 in both games, or is it 130? One of the two. From all reports, his preseason training has gone perfect, almost. No, not even a niggle of an injury here. For under 400k, under 350k, this could be a 120 average guy for under 350k. You can't get a better scenario here. Of course, if he gets hurt, bit of a problem here because there's not much great players. Like, I don't know, what are you going to do? He gets fined an extra 100k and go up to Cripps or something like that, or I don't know, put Hewitt in the midfield, which I don't advise, by the way. I think Hewitt, just keep him in defence, is a lot better midfielders, and you could get stuck with him in the midfield. Yeah, I mean, maybe Caldwell comes on this year. Dow isn't coming on. It's pretty tough. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt. It is what it is, though. Man, I hope he doesn't. He's really fun to watch as well. And I'm just going to type this guy up because I'm not walking all the way. Scrolling all the way down. Jared Berry. Again, I think like Neil, they're from the same team. This is a must pick. Berry is 270k, let's say. Could average anywhere between like 95 to 105 to maybe 110. Let's just have a look at what a 110 average is price wise. That would be 600k. If you can get from 270k to 600k, you've made big profit and you've played Supercoach correctly. That is what you're meant to do. You're meant to bring in players for cheap that will overperform their price. And if you want to, or if they get injured, you swap them for, say, Tom Mitchell, who maybe is going through a form drop at the time. He does every year. He drops to about 570 every year. You would make an easy swap there. You made 60k profit. Easy. Yeah. Oh, you made 30k profit. But if he gets up a little bit more, you make even more profit. And Berry's just looked good in both the pre-season practice games. Definitely this is a guy that will score in pretty much any position he's in. Even if he's playing wing, he'll score fine. No need to worry. He'll score fine for his price. He's fine. And then here are the rookies I've got here. Where is he? 200. Juan Francis, Nick Dacos, and where is he? Josh Ward. All three here looked great in their games. Juan Francis, I'm still not sold on, and I haven't been for a while. I think that once the season starts and North get their midfield in, he's kind of just going to get stuck half forward and not do anything. Maybe he'll take a couple of marks and have a big game every now and then, but for 200k, I don't think he's too great. I think that type of player is just not what you want in Supercoach. But right now, he looks good. Dacos looks like really just like you have the rest of the rookies here, and then you have Dacos like all the way up here. Like it's barely close. He looks really great. He's someone that Collie would be stupid to not build their midfield around. Some variations like him, DeGoey, Crisp. Pendlebury's still fine, even though he's going to be moving in defence this year. I think he's by far and away the best rookie of this class. And then Ward is playing a really bad Hawthorn side, so hopefully that just means he gets a lot of playing time, a lot of time on ball in the stoppages with guys like Titch. Sorry, I'm looking at my team and trying to keep up with the players here. Hopefully it's fine. And then the bench, Dylan Stevens, hopefully he plays and hopefully he stays in the team. Honestly, this bench is, hopefully they play. Connor McDonald will definitely play, but hopefully he keeps playing. And then in this spot, I've had, what's his name? Arthur. He's a Bulldogs player. Can't seem to find him. Or maybe he's a defender or whatever it is. right now I've got Soligo or Soligo, whatever it is. He played in the practice game. Oh, did he? I think he did. And then he played in the aim game. Surely he plays. Adelaide are another like bottom 4 contender. He should play. If he doesn't, then we've got an issue because none of these guys are going to play. Maybe Tom Joyce plays. Very, very unlikely. Yeah, it's a tough position there. And then the Rucks, we'll just get onto this. This is going to reset. Don't reset. Cool. Alright. Who's to highest price? The internet is really poor today. Poor form. Darcy, Grundy, set and forget. Okay, maybe not set and forget, but set it and be hopeful. Darcy, the second half of last year, was probably the best player in Supercoach. I didn't have him. His ownership wasn't that high, and it's still not. It's only 13%. I'd imagine that's because Gawn is the safer option. Less injury history. It looks like he's going to be playing a lot more from the back, which means intercept marks, which is great for Supercoach, and just more possessions. The issue with Gawn is they will develop Luke Jackson this year. Like, this is very likely the year they push forward with that. They've just won a premiership and they want to keep it going into the future. Gawn's, he's not young, but he's not old, but he's getting up there. So I could see them giving Luke Jackson a lot more ruck time. Hopefully that's pushed off till next year, or the year after, because Gawn is great for Supercoach. It's probably him and McRae, Bont and Lloyd have just been like the Supercoach guys for the last, say, 5 years, 6 years even. Man, even now I'm thinking, should I start Gawn instead of Darcy? Darcy will get hurt, but he plays through it, and he plays better through it. Like, honestly, look at his games, and the games where he had an injury of some kind, he put up a really big score. Just a different kind of beast, man. He's just different. And then on the bench, it's take your pick between Jack Hayes and Hugh Dixon, who I thought was fake the first time I heard of him. I'm not even going to try. This guy will also, like, if you want a loop, this is the guy here. We'll go with Jack. I think I've had Hugh, whatever, doesn't matter. And the forward line, I guess this is kind of one of the easier lines, honestly. The difficulty in the forward line is who of the 200k guys do you want to pick? Because you've got to pick him. It's the way it is, you've got to pick him. Dunkley, there's no argument here, no conversation at all. You pick Dunkley. He is by far the best forward here. It's the next is Mitch Duncan, and the gap here is massive. It is a very massive gap. Duncan is a huge injury risk. Plus, he's not young, and he's playing for a retirement home team. And Dunkley's playing for a premiership contending team in the prime of his career. And if he plays midfield, he gets video game numbers. So yeah, you pick Dunkley. There's nothing really there. And then here, I guess there's a bit of debate here. Do you want Heaney? Do you want Butters? Do you want both? I am going with just Butters. Pretty much just for the fact I can't afford Heaney. But if I drop Sicily, like I said before, I would add in Heaney. I do have the money left over. I think with this team I have like 25k left over, which would allow for a swap from Sicily to Heaney. It's just the issue of there's no good rookies in defence. So I've got Sicily in there right now. Butters playing midfield is probably going to be a cheat code, honestly. He had that game where, what did he have? He had like either 90 and 3/4 or 90 and a half or 100 and something in 3/4. It was insane. It was the game he got hurt in. Butters in the midfield, it just seems like he's meant for it. Like, he's just an inside mid. He should be playing there. I will say, though, he is one of those players that I think he's just going to have injuries all throughout his career. The way he plays, like, just watching him, you hear it a lot on commentary. He goes into stuff a bit too head first. He's going to have injuries throughout his career, but hopefully it's fine this year, and I think it will be. I think that surely he smartened up after having it pretty much missing the whole of last year. He did come back, play a couple of games, but he missed the large majority of last year. And Port's going to need him to step up this year. Then we've got Canelio. This is a high-level player. I'm not going to say like super elite or anything like that, but he's a very good player. He deserves to be captain. Maybe not of GWS, but he deserves to be a captain. I think Josh Kelly was the better option there. But Canelio is great. He can put up a couple of goals, get high touches in the midfield, stay durable in a way. He has missed games throughout his career, but one was a broken leg, so you can't predict that. As someone who has had a broken leg, you can't predict it and you can't plan for it. But once it's healed, you're pretty much fine. There's been, I'd say, more of his injuries come mentally, and like that's kind of a serious topic I don't want to talk about too much. But he looks like he's gotten over it this year. Stepping up as captain of a team that's meant to win a premiership that just got blown out huge, it will take a toll on someone. But it looks like now he's moved past it. I still think Leon Cameron is a absolute flog and should be removed from the world of football after watching the documentary, the AFL. It was like a year or two ago. He's a flog, and I don't like him at all. Not only for Supercoach, but just I don't think he's a great person. And then outside of Canelio, we've got Mitch McGovern. Oh my god, this internet's poor, man. Okay. McGovern played great in the preseason game. Really good, actually. Kickouts, intercept marks, high possessions. Pretty good role. Missed the fourth quarter. Not great. He missed the fourth quarter. He's the guy that, he does have, I don't know, would you call it like motor issues in terms of he's not always motivated to play. Hopefully the new role when there is a bit of like an upside to Carlton this year. Are they going to win the premiership? No. Are they going to make the top 8? Probably not. But there's a lot to look at this year, with the team. It's not just Cripps, or now Walsh, carry us and see where we go. Probably finish 10th. Now it's, everyone can kind of pull their weight. Cherry's not bad. Walsh, once he comes back, is great. Actual Brownlow level player. Surprised he got so many votes last year, but, for the most part, he deserved them. He robbed a couple of guys, but he deserved the most. Cripps looks like he's having a bit of a comeback here. He slimmed down a bit, which I said was one of his issues. So I think he's put on a bit too much weight, trying to go for the bulky midfielder look. He's slimmed down a bit. He's gotten a bit more mobile. It's just, will his body hold up? He's another guy that's always injured. He's kind of like Darcy. He's just always injured, but he keeps playing on. I think this is a good year for Carlton. If you're a fan of Carlton, you'll have a good year this year. Maybe not great, but a good foundation year. And then we're moving into rookie territory, I guess. This guy, I didn't even know he existed for a long time. Tristan Sherry. I'm not really sure. I'm going to wait for the games. I think it's Sherry. I don't know. The X would have me believe it's Sherry, but we'll see. He looks like he's playing number 1 ruck at North, which is the smarter idea. Goldstein probably should have retired by now. Probably this year should have retired. But, if the old man wants to keep playing, the old man wants to keep playing. I think Sherry will be the number 1 ruck for the majority of the year. I think it would just really be a bad idea for him not to be. You got to start developing young players at some point, especially in a team like North that's just not great. And if he plays full-time Ruck, he'll get some good scores. He won't be, like a Ruck 2 option or anything like that. But, a couple of good scores here and there. Definitely great for the forward line. I think it'll be great. And from what I've heard, his durability and stuff like that's fine. And then we've got rookies. Some people have, I watched George and he said Rochelty, whatever, is the best player at Adelaide. I don't know if that's cap or not because Laird is on the team. But it is what it is. He'll play probably every game without injury. But he has got a bit of that. He's a small forward, so maybe he won't score great, but if he scores at all, it's better than nothing. And then we've got here. Where is he? Oh yeah, there he is, Arthur Jones. I've had him in and out. I don't think he'll play, honestly. De Koning will play. He's the swap for, is it Henderson? Man, I never remember. He should play. More games than not, he'll play. His score probably won't be the greatest, but probably looking like in the 50s or 60s for him. But it's the consistency that matters. And then here you can pick Nick Martin, who presumably is going to play at heaps for Essendon, or at least in round 1, which is when everyone is kind of targeting. Anywhere between Martin and Dixon here. I think Dixon's fine. It did come out this morning, as for recording this, that Jack Darling got his COVID jab, which it is what it is. I think people should get it, but I would have liked if he stayed out of the team a bit longer. Dixon should play. He's tall, he's forward, he's a ruck. Natanui is not healthy ever. Even when he is, he doesn't play great time on ground. Actually, Natanui played all games last year. It's just really low time on ground. Really low. It's 60s, 70s, something like that. I think Dixon's fine, but I also think Martin's fine. Either, just flip a coin. It's the final spot. No one really cares about it. But that's the team. Now, the first upgrade I'm already targeting is probably going to be somewhere in the forward line because I want Heaney. I think he'll be playing midfield this year, barring huge injuries forward. Maybe if Buddy gets hurt, then he could get stuck forward again. I want Heaney in the forwards, and I also want, if Rowell is as good as I think he's going to be, then midfield. This is probably going to be a slow, maybe even fast burn. Honestly, Dacos could rack up, a fair bit of high scores and push his price up pretty high. We'll see how it goes. Even defense, maybe if I just finish this off early. Not too sure. It's the thing I like about this team is there's many different ways I can build it. And in Supercoach, at least the last 2-3 years, my team has just been decimated with injuries and just unlucky role changes and stuff like that. Really dry throat. I should have got some water. So having multiple avenues for ways to fill out the team, get I'd say top 10 defenders, some variation of the top 10, some variation top 10 forwards. In the mids, just try to get the best, honestly. I think the midfield is the easiest place in the final team. The only issue with this, if Hewitt or Sicily get a role change, it's really tough to do something here. Like I said, Sicily could become Heaney, but we'll see. It's tough. If Rao gets hurt, that's really hard to fix. They're the issues I'm dealing with this team. But like I said, this version 1 of the final team, it will get changed before the end of the I guess before the start of the season, which is next Wednesday. Yeah. I want to go to a game, but we'll see. Might go to the Geelong Essendon game. It's a good time. But yeah, see you all in the next video. Feel free to put down in the comment box who are you starting? Who's like your dark horse pick? Mine is pretty generic, honestly. It's Rao, but yeah. See you all next time. Tasty out.